heartbreaking, devastating news that came in from the national capital. A 23-year-old young man, Sahil, lost his life because of reckless and negligent driving. Sahil was on his way to work. That's when a Scorpio rammed into his vehicle, which was being driven by a minor. A minor behind the wheels once again. This reckless and negligent driving cost Sahil his life. His mother is inconsolable, fighting back tears. It was difficult for her to gather herself, but she spoke to us. She said that this was a criminal act. Now, we've also been able to access the autopsy report. Let me quickly take you through the details about the injuries, the serious injuries that Sahil sustained during the collision. This also tells you about the impact of the collision. Number one, multiple fatal injuries to head and chest, multiple fractures of the 4th, 5th and 6th ribs. His skull was fractured. He had a severe craniocerebral damage, multiple abrasions over the entire body, 15-centimeter grazed injury over the abdomen, abrasion over the forehead, right arm deformity due to collision, clotted blood in mouth. We spoke to Sahil's mother, Ina Makan, who says that someone was making a fun reel that went horribly wrong and cost her son his life. She says this is a criminal act.
I never thought of मैं अपने बच्चे के साथ ऐसे हाईलाइट होंगी उसके जाने के बाद he wanted to be popular with his good acts, make me proud. I never thought of this. I will share my sons. These rich people have no control on their children, spoiled children, because वो तो इतने पैसे कमाने में बिजी हैं जी, उन्हें यही नहीं पता कि उनकी परवरिश क्या कर रही है बाहर, उन्हें सिर्फ पैसे देने आते हैं. I'm surprised how that girl, being a girl, being a sister, being a daughter, उसका नाम FIR में कोमल लिखा है. She is equally responsible. वो तो जुवेनाइल नहीं है ना जी, वो तो जुवेनाइल नहीं है, उसकी तो एज है, वो तो बड़ी है इससे. वो she is equally culprit.
We're also given to understand that the accused rammed into other vehicles as well. A taxi driver was also injured during this accident. We spoke to the minor accused, offering his apologies, and has described this accident a nadani, a mistake because of his son's immaturity. Now, the minor accused was apprehended. He was produced before the Juvenile Justice Board, and later he also managed to get an interim bail to appear for his board exams. Listen into the minor accused's father.
अब तो ये नादानी बच्चा कर चुका है सर. अब इसके लिए तो मैं भी बहुत अफसोस कर रहा हूँ. अब इस अफसोस को मैं कैसे बयां करूँ. हमारे से तो सर मैं बाहर था और मैं तो चाबी भी अप्रूवल नहीं दिया था. अब बच्चा नादानी कर गया, माइनर बच्चा है. मैं वेरी सॉरी. मैं इसके लिए तो मैं पेरेंट्स हूँ, तो मुझे ही सारी चीज को
तो पहले तो चलाना सीखा होगा ना आपके सामने, आपने ही दे दिया होगा, किसने दिया था?
नहीं, मेरे नजर में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था जो पहले गाड़ी चलाता था.
So, but the father says nadani ho gayi. It was because of his son's immaturity. He is expressing regret and apology. No amount of apology can bring back Sahil. No amount of apology will help the mother in this situation or bring her son back. The eyewitness tell a completely different story. According to them, some other member of the family came to the spot, tried taking responsibility for the accident, but when the family was confronted in front of the police, they admitted that it was the minor who was behind the wheels. Now, Sahil's mother is also alleging that the police helped the accused family in the entire cover-up. My colleague Priyank spoke to the eyewitness. Let's listen in.
They were more concerned about their own kid.
बिल्कुल. तो उन्होंने ये भी, उसके ब्रदर ने भी कहा कि गाड़ी मैं चला रहा था.
हाँ.
तो फिर पुलिस ने उसका लाइसेंस लिया.
हाँ.
कि भाई लाओ अपना लाइसेंस, तो गाड़ी चला रहे थे तो उसने लाइसेंस दिया पुलिस को.
हाँ.
तब मैं वहीं था, तो मैंने उससे यही कहा, यार बात सुनो, जो भी कर रहे हो झूठ नहीं करो, जो चला रहा था उसको बुलाओ. तब वो पुलिस ने दोबारा जब जोर से पूछा, तब उसने कहा कि मैं नहीं चला था, मेरा भाई चला था.
Oh my God.
नहीं तो उसने तो लाइसेंस दे दिया था उस वक्त, ये गाड़ी वो चला रहा है. आपको कैब ड्राइवर वाले का पता चला? कैब ड्राइवर वाला कहाँ है? वो जो टैक्सी ड्राइवर था।
सर हम लोग पता कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में,
वो
बट
शायद बचा, मतलब सुनने में ऐसा है वो बचा
नहीं, ही इज अलाइव सो फार।
पहले इन्होंने जो एफआईआर में वो उम्र बताई उसकी 19 साल, उसके बाद अगले दिन वो 17 साल दिखा रहे हैं। तो उसमें तो मतलब साफ साफ दिख रहा है कि नाम है पुलिस और ये सब मिले हुए हैं। अगर वो टाइम पे पहुंच गया होता तो शायद बच सकता था। पुलिस वालों ने काफी लेट कर दिया, काफी देर तक वो पड़ा रहा वहाँ पे, तमाशा बनाते रहे, उसके वीडियो बनाते रहे, देखते रहे, माँ का वेट करते रहे। क्या नाम है, इतनी देर में ले जाते हैं वहाँ पे, पहले ले जाते तो शायद बच सकता था।
फादर नहीं,
काफी टाइम खराब कर दिया उन्होंने। एम्बुलेंस भी खड़ी थी वहाँ, पुलिस भी खड़ी थी, सब कुछ खड़ा था वहाँ पे और स्पेशल स्टाफ भी था, लेकिन इन्होंने कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया।
फादर नहीं है, पास्ट हुए या सेपरेटेड है?
नहीं, सिंगल ही है, एक्सपायर हुए 12-13 साल हो।
मैं साहिल को 8 से 9 साल से जानता हूँ और जानता था एक्चुअली, और बहुत ही काइंड बंदा था, बहुत ही हार्ड वर्किंग बंदा था, कभी घर पर नहीं बैठता था। हमेशा उसको ये था कि भाई मम्मी के लिए कुछ करना है, अपने लिए कुछ करना है, भाई पैसा कमाना है, ज़िंदगी ऐसे है यहाँ पे इंडिया में, मैं बाहर जाऊँगा। देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स वेयर ही वाज मोटिवेटिंग मी एज वेल कि हाँ भाई तेरे को भी अपनी लाइफ के साथ कुछ करना है। जब हमने एक्सीडेंट का स्पॉट देखा तो वहाँ पे कॉन्क्रीट वॉज लाइक पील्ड ऑफ द रोड, तो आप एक आइडिया लगा सकते हो कि कितनी ओवर स्पीडिंग कर रही थी गाड़ी और कितना हार्ड कोलिजन था वो, कितना स्ट्रॉन्ग कोलिजन था, जिस वजह से कैब वाले का भी ये हाल हुआ, R15 के 2 टुकड़े हुए और दो जिंदगियां खराब हो गई।
We have two guests joining us on the broadcast, Swapnil Srivastava, an advocate, and Dr. Saranya Jaikumar, child rights expert. Before I open this up and go across to our guests, we've also opened our phone lines and requesting our viewers to call us and tell us what do you think. Isn't this an absolute mockery of the system? We have Mr. Subramaniam joining us on the broadcast, our first viewer. Please go ahead. Good evening. What are your views?
First of all, in fact, this is a very serious case. We are very distressed after saying this. He should be tried like an adult, and a maximum punishment should be given to him. Not only, and even his parents should be punished.
All right, Mrs. Subramanian, thank you very much for speaking with us. Let me go across to another viewer joining us on the broadcast. I believe we have K. Rajendran joining us from Bengaluru. Good evening to you. Please go ahead, tell us about your views.
Good evening, ma'am. See, the incident has already happened. So there is nothing, nothing can be done. At this point of time, I have 2 points to make. That the victim's mother should be compensated enough to carry on the life. And the accused person, maybe this one or juvenile or not, his parents has to be booked and a strict message has to be sent to everybody, and people are watching that they should not hand over the vehicle to this one juvenile.
Which means you're asking for something to be done, because if we were to not take any action, how would we send out a strong message? Thank you very much for calling us, Mr. Rajendran. Let me go across to Swapnil Srivastava. You know, as if Sahil's life just did not matter. We saw this in the Pune Porsche case where the minor accused was asked to write an essay, and in this case, let off, bail granted. I'm not questioning the legal process, but let off to appear for the board exams?
Swati, extremely shocking state of affairs, I must tell you. My heart goes out to the deceased. Extremely shocking turn of events. But unfortunately, the law is the law, and what we need to put in the correct context is when we look at the FIR, we see, regardless of whether the accused is a minor or not, it's an issue we'll come to in a bit. But when we look at the FIR, we see that only provisions which have been invoked against him by the police are all bailable in nature. So even if the accused were to be treated as not a minor but a major pursuant to Section 15 of the Juvenile Justice Act, the bottom line still is that he has only been charged for provisions which are bailable in nature. And you rightly pointed out, we saw that in the Pune Porsche case, and we have seen a recent trend where a lot of high-profile hit-and-run cases have come to the fore, which is honestly indicative of the fact that the law is not acting as a deterrent as it must do. And the reason for that is that the punishments which are prescribed under the new law, or the old law for that matter, are just not grave enough. At worst, if a person hits and runs over someone and they die, punishment is for 2 years. So a larger conversation needs to be
So when you have provisions and you don't apply, what's the point of having those provisions? Hasn't the system failed Sahil and his mother is the question I'm asking. Before I go across to Dr. Jayakumar, I believe Dominic from Goa, another viewer joining us on the broadcast. Please go ahead. Good evening.
Hello, I'm Dominic from Goa. And it's a very sad news that a mother lost her only beloved child. And I request the government and Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to bring a strong law that a 17-year-old, if he drives a car in a rash and negligent manner, and the parents also should be given a punishment that nobody should try to take the law in their hands, and the police are also involved in this case.
Right. So you're saying stringent action, strict punishment, and a strong message. That is the need of the hour. Dominic, thank you very much for calling us. We have Jaya calling us from Mumbai. Jaya, go ahead. Jaya, good evening. If you can hear me, go ahead. Okay, we have Jayaram joining us from Mumbai. If you can hear me, please go ahead. Good evening. Okay, I believe there's a problem in connecting with the viewers. Our phone lines are open. Call us and tell us what do you think about this entire episode. Let me go across to Dr. Saranya Jayakumar. Dr. Saranya Jayakumar, whether it's the viewers, whether it's the accused family, everybody, of course, offering their condolence to the mother, the single mother who's lost her only hope, her only son. Is that enough? Are these apologies, these condolences enough? Will they bring back Sahil? No. She's asking for justice.
See, first, before I talk about who is accountable here, I have to reiterate the fact that children cannot purchase cars, children cannot register cars, minor children cannot drive cars. So before we go to asking what was the child thinking, we have to ask who gave him the keys. He did not go and buy this car out of his money. First of all, this child below 18 has no proper frontal cortex development. He's making reels. He's making all the useless stuff on his social media platform with this weapon called the car. See, actually, Swati, I want to ask one thing. Every time such an incident happens, we go back to make the child a villain. How many videos are there on social media where minor children are driving and making these videos? What action have we taken on that? Should we wait for someone to die and then go and catch the family and then go action? How many such videos are there on the internet? Nobody reacts. Nobody takes any action anywhere. Where is the traffic police then? All the time, even in the Porsche case, when I was talking on national media, I said the parents must be arrested first. This child has gone on to drink. This child has gone on to drive the car, kill something. What are the parents doing? Every time going around only making money.
You know, the father says he left the keys at his residence. He had no idea that his son was going to go for a joyride and go on the road and kill someone. Today, you know, it's Sahil. Tomorrow it could be anyone. And you're absolutely right. When is this going to stop? All of us will have to play our part if we want this to stop. Dr. Jayakumar, do stay on with us. We have our viewers calling us constantly. Jaya joining us from Mumbai. Good evening, Jaya. Go ahead. What are your views?
Yes, thank you for having me on your channel. I would like to say that this is not a dastardly act. Any number of synonyms to the word dastardly will not suffice. It is outrageous, of course, to kill, driving while not eligible, allowing him to go on bail to top it all, the mindset across the ecosystem throughout Bharat. Nadani, for a driver who has been slapped challans 9 times, this is what the father says, and he is allowed to go on bail to write an exam after taking the life of an innocent human being. The Raizada mindset ought to be transformed by all governments in India. Address this cancerous mindset. The parents are very proud. They brag about vehicles being given to the children who are not eligible to drive because they are minors.
Absolutely. It has created a system where, you're right, it has created a system where the rich brats where the rich brats get an access to a car, they go onto the road and they kill someone. And it's not happening for the first time. So we need to ask those pertinent questions. When is this going to stop? And first of all, how is this going to stop? You need to make people accountable. Just because they are minors, they cannot be let off. Thank you very much, Jaya, for speaking with us. We have another viewer, Madhav, joining us from Bengaluru. Madhav, go ahead. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. This is to be occurring every alternate day, and there was this Lamborghini and there was this other car, a grand person, and they fake they fake accidents, they pretend that it's someone else sitting at the wheel, and police are hand in glove. All these cases should be fast-tracked so that the person is brought to book and justice is meted out to the parents of the deceased. It is so shocking that we have...
Absolutely. That's what Sahil's mother is asking for. That's all that she's asking for. She says, call it a criminal act and ensure justice for my son. Let me go across to Swapnil. Swapnil, you said laws are laws. What can we do about it? So if there are laws and they are not implemented in the right manner, shouldn't we hold people accountable? What about the attempts to cover up? What about that?
So Swati, there are two aspects here. First of all, there's a lot that we can do to bring a change about in the laws that exist. I mean, so far as rash and negligent driving leading to deaths are concerned, unfortunately, our penal code does not have stringent enough laws. So there should be some pressure put on the government to bring about necessary amendments so that the necessary deterrence can be created by these penal provisions. That's number one. Number two is, and this is something that I was averting to earlier, because when you look at the FIR, the age of the accused is shown to be 19 years. And one of the eyewitnesses whose clips were being played on your channel also mentioned that earlier he was charged as a 19-year-old, but suddenly his age was shown as 17 years of age. So there is some suspect activity going on so far as that is concerned. And another eyewitness testimony that you guys showed mentioned how the police were on the spot, the ambulance was on the spot, but nobody knew what to do. They were not prepared, and a lot of time was wasted. Important minutes that could have made a massive difference to the outcome of this entire scenario. So
absolutely. And how many more innocent lives will be lost before we as a society demand a change? Very quickly before I take a break, Dr. Jayakumar, if there are no provisions, then we need to ask for reforms. If there are provisions, we need to ensure they are implemented. If the police is hand in gloves with any attempts to ensure a cover-up, then everybody needs to be held accountable, irrespective of who that individual is.
See, I don't see this as just a legal failure, Swati. I see this as a parenting failure. I see this as a societal failure. See how many people are coming together to support a crime. Then where will the deterrence come? As Swapnil sir said, if I'm bringing reforms, if I'm bringing...